But it's amazing. This guy puts his life on the line, him and his brother, every day for people's freedom, you know, to protect people. Now he gets to where he can be appreciated and valued because he still wants to help you. He has that generous heart. He just wants to help you. That's why people go to be a police officer. You know, they want to make a difference in the world. Now he's able to make a difference in the world and have his family benefit from it.
So as part of our Sales in Action series, we've got our guest speaker, Mr. Derek Matthews, in today. Our guest himself is pretty interesting. I'll share a little bit about him soon. But as far as the Sales in Action series itself, the Sales in Action series is basically those who are doing well in sales. We want to hear what they're doing and see if we can't mimic that ourselves, right? So for somebody who may be struggling, or somebody who may be new, or somebody who's been doing this a while but wants to hear from somebody else, because, you know, sometimes we need a little rejuvenation. That's what this is, the Sales in Action series. And today we've got Mr. Derek Matthews, and I'll share with you a little bit about Derek, because I think some of this might actually surprise you a little bit. Derek's 25 years old, first of all. Millennials, we're coming up. He's 25. He's born and raised on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. Graduated in high school in 2015. Now, I am of the age where I can say, wow, 2015, I remember what I was doing then. But after he graduated, he went to community college and actually started his own business called Coastal Tractor and Fence. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. He grew and maintained this business for a couple of years. And then when he hit 21, he decided he wanted to start his career in the police department down in Gulfport. And then during his time at the department, he was assigned to a patrol division for several years. And then April of 2021, he was selected to be part of the violent crimes unit. Now I feel like I'm narrating a Law and Order episode here. In June of 2022, so just this past summer, he was promoted to detective. I know that's impressive. He was promoted to detective and assigned to the narcotics division. So that's the nitty gritty right there. That's impressive. So after working a lot of hours, a lot of weekends, and missing countless family events, he was called away overnight. He missed a lot of things. He wanted to pursue something different because he wanted something where he could provide for not only his family, but make his family the priority. And I can respect the heck out of that given my situation. So for several years when he was growing up, he watched his father, David Matthews, who, by the way, is on the leaderboard. Go David Matthews. He watched his father pursue a successful career in insurance, especially in the Medicare world and senior benefits. And then after doing a little bit of research, Derek was inspired to obtain his own license this past summer. Mind you, this past summer was just a couple months ago. Please keep that in mind. Now, so as soon as AEP started, he took a couple weeks off from the police department to focus on AEP and really get his feet in the ground, right? He took those few weeks off and set a goal of just writing some policies. He said 5 was his goal. In the first 2 weeks of AEP, he wanted to write 5 apps. Well, as many of you know, that's very doable. And as he found out for himself, on the first day, he literally wrote 5 apps and then some. And he ended up hitting his second goal and his third goal shortly thereafter. And again, mind you, for AEP, it's only been a couple weeks. He's currently in the process of committing full-time to being in this business and leaving the police department by the end of the year. That's amazing. He started part-time in this business, realized, wait a minute, there's something to this. And then now he's diving in head first. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Derek Matthews. Derek Matthews, you there, sir?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, good morning to you. I can hear you. How are you?
Good morning. Good. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction there.
No, thank you, sir, for your time in the police department. Not only that, but also for being our speaker today and sharing a little bit of your wisdom here. So as you can see on the screen, I just want to emphasize the little bio that I just read there. He's a full-time police officer, detective. Not only that, but like in the in the violent crimes and narcotics unit. That's like extra. But then also he's earned over 10 grand for his family in a couple of weeks here in this business. Now, what I want to just touch on, because a little bit of what you sent me there, Derek, because I mean, I've gotten to know you in the last couple of days, like a week or two or something, but I don't know you personally. You started a tractor business back in the day?
As soon as I graduated high school, I went in for myself, and mostly what I did was fences, farm fences, privacy fences, a little bit of dirt work. I employed 2 full-time guys.
Okay.
And then once I turned 21, I let that go to focus on the police department full-time, and within the last couple of years, I wanted to get back into doing something for myself again.
Sure. So you've had like I guess you could say an entrepreneurial spirit, so to speak.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
So with Coastal Tractor and Fence, that was your company. You had to sell customers, build contracts or relationships or something like that?
Yeah, a lot of it was tough getting started, but after I got a few, mostly worked on a lot of referrals, and after a couple months I stayed pretty busy and didn't, it was just mostly referrals. So
interesting. Something in the world of using sales skills, something right. Never changes. Referrals. That is the bread and butter there. That's awesome. Okay. So I guess I'm interested because that's a very varied background, right? You start your own company and then you shift gears entirely, right? They have nothing to do with each other. Police right. work and essentially labor, right? Tractor and fence. And then now you want to get back into something similar to that. What drew you back into wanting to get into that entrepreneurial style?
Well, the first couple of years of the police department, I had a blast, and then in the recent couple of years, I've wanted to get back into doing something for myself, as everybody probably that's on the call knows, policing is changing for the worse, and it's not what it used to be, even in the short 5 years that I've been in it. You miss all the holidays, all the weekends. It just got to be where it's not really worth it to me anymore. So I want to go do something where I can work hard, and the harder I work, the more benefit I get out of it in the long run.
Interesting you say that. Yeah, policing has changed, and regardless of anybody's position on that, when something gets harder and you have to commit more to it, usually you want to get more out of it, not stay afloat, not just survive. And right. I appreciate you saying that, because this is a business where the more you commit to it, the more investment you make into it, whether it's personal investment of education or a skill set or literally investing dollars into the business. This is usually a high return business. So I can appreciate you sharing that perspective as well. So that's pretty cool. Now, as part of what you shared with me for your bio, you saw your father, David Matthews, getting into this for a long time and seeing success. But that doesn't automatically mean you get into insurance, right? Why? What research convinced you that this was where you wanted to be?
Well, he's been talking to me about it for several years, and I finally this year, after everything with policing that's going on, I finally decided I was ready to get back into something for myself. And after watching hours of videos, talking to him, I felt like this was possibly going to be a good opportunity for me. And like I said, I was actually got all my stuff in order, and October 15th, the start of AEP that's when I was ready to go. I didn't start getting my license until late summer. By the time I got all contracted with all the companies, I was right up pushing that deadline. So
yeah, I would. Yeah, that's interesting, because a lot of people who get into this business, of course, everybody knows annual enrollment every year. That's a high business time. But for you to not have any experience doing that, just getting licensed, you just walked into the party and everybody's already been there for 2 hours, and you just got there and you're right. Like, oh, I'm all about this. That's impressive, because not everybody has that instinct. Not everybody is going to share that kind of perspective. So that's pretty cool. And then you had gotten into the, if I can back up here for a second, you got into the police work because why? I mean, you were having fun, sure, but you didn't know that until you started.
Right. My brother, he's been there for about 9 years now. He started in 2011 there. So he's a little bit older than me, but he had been there. It was something I always wanted to do since I can remember. But my brother's what drew me, to Gulfport, and I did some ride-alongs with him after I turned 18, and after I did a couple of those, I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I didn't know that. Your brother's in the force as well. Does he do similar work?
He's a detective in the CID division. They mostly just they investigate crimes where we're I'm on the narcotic side. We're on the road quite a bit doing narcotics operations, search warrants, and stuff like that. So he's more in the office every day, where we're kind of out out on the streets and doing a lot of warrants and stuff like that.
Understood. Makes sense. Wow, man, that's so interesting. So you had essentially fallen in love with that through experience, and through this, you've fallen in love with it the same way through experience, right? You knew mentally beforehand, I want to do this, but that doesn't always translate to actually getting the work done. That's amazing. And so doing your research here in the insurance world, I mean, of course, you see your father doing it, making money, you do some research, watching some videos, but why'd you join Global, right? Because you could have realistically gotten contracts anywhere. Why us?
Well, I see what my dad's done, talking to him, and he likes it here, and seeing what you guys do for him and everything. And then he got me in touch with Eric Allen, and I spoke with him, and really liked him, and talked to him on the phone. I actually spoke with Tony for a little bit. He reached out to me when he heard that this was what I was trying to do, and I just seems more like a family,
And that seems important to you, yes?
Right. Yes, sir.
So share with me a little about that, because I mean, I know we offer a lot here at Global. I'm behind the scenes a lot, and I'm helping put together some of these things. But for you, having your perspective of, well, I see it from afar in terms of the insurance and your father being successful in sales and so on. But for you now to experience that, have you been able to leverage any of the campaigns or the personal relationships or the training here at Global, or the morning meetings, or has anything been able to help you kind of take that next step in the insurance career?
All of it has played a big part. I come into this with really no previous experience, really no previous sales experience. So all that has played a part in it. Anytime I call Eric, he always, if he's busy, he returns my call, and he answers any questions that I have. And between him and my dad, they've helped me get going.
So I find that interesting, because a lot of people are like looking for a handout. And I'm not saying this is you. I'm saying a lot of people are in the life raft looking to be towed to shore. You're in the life raft thinking, I got to paddle. Might as well paddle. So how have you gotten to 40 plus sales already? Because we've got people who've been here for years and are at 5, 10, 15, 20 apps. How are you that much further along in the process?
Well, at the like I say, on the the 15th of October, that was my first day. I actually rode with my dad for that day, and ever since then, I've been out there going after it myself. But him and Eric, they started me with I had about 20 direct mail leads to start off AEP between him and Eric that they helped me out with. I was able to convert a pretty high percentage of those, and then of course some of those didn't have phone numbers and stuff like that. And I just I just drove by there, stopped by, and I was able to convert a little bit more of those. And I do everything in person. I might set the appointment over the phone, but as far as everything, I do everything in person. I just try to be personal with them and build a relationship. And I feel like for me, doing everything in person, it's a little bit easier to do that for me. If they give me a little bit of their trust, I'm going to earn the rest. And I know that's something that me and Tony had talked about. And after those, I got some age leads from the Global site, and Nick helped me out with some. And then since then, it's just been working those age leads. I'm still converting some of those, and then referrals. Starting to have a lot of referrals come in, and I feel like that's just due to treating people right. Helping them, getting the benefits that they deserve. And treating them more like a friend than a salesman.
Interesting. You shared a couple of things there. So one of the first things you said, when when you were looking at the police, joining the police force a number of years ago, you had done a ride along with your brother and figured out like, yeah, I really like it. And here you are with insurance, and you did a ride along with your father to pretty much figure out the same thing. I think that's
right.
That's pretty funny. So you can learn this business by doing this business. It's kind of interesting that we say that all the time. But you had said something about leads, that a lot of the leads don't even have phone numbers. You can't even call them. So you said you had taken that lead to the customer, right? And how were you able to convert that into a customer?
Well, if they don't have phone numbers on them, I drive by them. I don't just throw them in the garbage. I take the leads with me. I go knock on the door and show them where they sent in the lead card. I tell them my name, what I do. And if I can just build a good relationship in that first 30 seconds to a minute, if there's something that they can be helped with, I'm going to be able to do it because they trust me. I'm real big on telling them, I'm a local right in their area. They can call me anytime. They get to put a face with me. That's why I feel like doing everything in person for me has helped me out. Just so I can build that trust a little bit better, and it makes it a little bit easier, I feel like.
Sure. I can see why. So these referrals, how are these referrals coming in? Are these people that signed up with you and they're getting the people that they know to come talk to you? Are these people that did not sign up with you?
It's a little bit of both. Majority of them are people that did sign up with me, but even if I go out and to see somebody and they're happy with what they have, or they might have the best that's already out there, and I'll just be honest and transparent with them. I've had several come in on people that I didn't write. They just passed my name on because they felt like I did them right. I wasn't there to scam them or anything like that. I was honest and transparent with them. So it's been a little bit of both. Majority of people that I have wrote, but it has been the other as well.
Sure. I appreciate you being honest about that. And so, not having a lot of sales background, as you have shared, what have you found to work for you, other than, of course, just being honest and building that relationship? But is there any key piece that like you do every time, or you make sure you share this funny anecdote? Or is there anything that you find specifically that's working for you down in your market?
I just feel like, so I take the approach as, I'm really not there to sell them anything, especially with this, I'm just making sure that they have what's right for them. Telling them about the 2023 changes, that are coming, on their Social Security, the changes to the plans, the changes to their current plan, if they have one. Nothing's really specific, that I.
Yeah, no, there's not always an answer to that question. The reason I ask is because a lot of this is really just basic right presentation communication skills.
Just being knowledgeable about everybody that I'm contracted with, all the plans, and I know pretty much right in the first few seconds, if there's something out there that's going to benefit them better,
Sure.
And the more knowledge that you can have, they're only going to trust you a little bit more,
Well, sure. Then how do you? I'm sure you, just like the rest of us, how do you deal with objections then in the field?
Well, luckily for me, I believe the reason I don't get hit with many objections, if any, I can only think of a couple where I have been hit with some objections. I feel like if they like you, if they trust you, if you come off more as a friend to them, you're not really going to get hit with many objections. But if it does, I just try to get them back on track, get them to a yes question and hit on the high points, and a lot of times that comes through, but I really don't get many objections. And I feel like most of that's just from, sitting down, taking a few extra minutes with them, building some trust with them, and stuff like that, building a relationship with them.
Interesting you say that. So would you say the beginning of your conversations with them is related to insurance, or it's really got nothing to do with that?
The first few minutes, some people are different than others. Some are a little bit harder to crack, but I'm gonna spend the first few minutes, just talking about You know, where are they from? You know, what do they do? I might see a picture hanging on the wall, ask them about that. And then I feel like when I've gained a little bit of trust, you know, that's when I'll go into it. You know, some people, I might spend 5 or 10 minutes talking to them before we talk about anything. And then after it's all done, you know, I don't feel like I'm rushing out of there. I don't want them to feel like I'm rushing out of there. I sit with them, you know, talk with them a little bit more, you know, and then, you know, I give them my cell phone number, tell them to call me anytime. And then what I do is about 10 or 14 days after, I reach back out to them. And that does 2 things. One, they, you know, lets them know that I'm still there for them. And then 2, that's another chance to ask for referrals again.
Yeah, that's funny you said that. So you reach back out to these people after they've already signed up.
Absolutely, yes.
And not only that, but you reach out to them a couple of weeks later. It's not
right,
like you know, 6 months or something.
10, 14 days, and then I'll reach out to them again in 30 days or so.
That's big.
Especially during this time of the year.
Of course. I think people are discounting that follow-up strongly. And I know, like, of course, if you have 100 apps in 2 weeks, of course, that's going to be a ton of people. You can, you know, leverage others to help you with that. But my point is, if you're the regular agent, you're not at a point where your business has consumed you so considerably where you can't allocate your resources to following up with these people. Following up is just as important as getting that sale in the first place, because what you just said, getting referrals is essentially a free lead. You didn't have to do anything except due diligence with this client to get that lead. That's worth its weight in gold right there. Following up 10 to 14 days later, making sure they know that you're the insurance guy, you're not just the Medicare guy. That's huge. Good for you. Good for you. And so I want to crack this a little further because I know there's going to be some questions. Actually, I just saw a question. We'll get to questions right after this segment. That's funny. I see a good one in the chat. But as far as mechanics wise, like you said, you might do your phone appointment to schedule the appointment over the phone. But that's sometimes, I mean, that's going to be hard to build rapport over the phone, let alone to schedule an appointment. We're not even talking about showing up and all that. What do you find that seems to work for you over the phone, just getting the appointment?
Well, when I call them, here's how I do it. I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but I call them by first name or you know, Miss Betty or whatever. I call them by first name. I tell them my first name. I just tell them my first name, what I do, where I'm from. I'm local right here in your area, you know, and I just want to stop by and make them, you know, tell you about the new changes and get the information that you requested. And I'll only take a few minutes of your time. I just tell them, you know, what works better for you, morning or evening. But you know,
wait, run that back. You assume the close. That's awesome. Wait a minute. So you just give them a time. What works best for you?
Yeah, I just, you know, ask them, are you more of a morning or evening person? And then as soon as they tell me morning or evening, I put a time in that fits my calendar. You know,
I love it. That's awesome. I'm coming from a door-to-door sales background. I did that for a while, and that's. You want to get as scripted as you can possibly get with door-to-door sales without seeming scripted. You want whatever they say, you want to already have a scripted answer back, like so that there's no curveballs. And that, what you just shared is like, that's so awesome. Just what works best for you, morning or afternoon, and just keep it going. I think that's awesome. That's right. Great. Okay. What else you got? Any other mechanics or tips or like, because I know you seem like a very down-to-earth kind of guy. People probably trust you pretty quickly.
Yeah. No, I still feel like I'm able to build a little bit of a relationship over the phone. And then at the end of the call, you know, I ask them if, you know, because I don't want to have no-shows. So in order to cut down on no-shows a little bit, I ask them, do they have a pen and paper? And when they do, you know, I get them to write down my name, what I'm going to be driving so they know it's me. You know, I give them what vehicle I'm going to be driving, and then we make sure we have the time, and they write the time down. And then, you know, I ask them, barring any emergency, is there any reason they wouldn't be there? You know, and they say no, and then it's set. And very little no-shows.
Well, of course, because you pull up in a squad car. They're not going to know. No. That's great. That's great. You kind of make them be accountable, right? You make them take that note. That's great. That's awesome. So then if I'm going to shift gears a little bit, so we've talked a little bit about what works for you, how you do it, your technique. What does all this mean for you and your family? Because you had gotten into this to make your family the priority. How has this impacted you and your family's well-being?
Well, right now I'm working some long hours on both of them, but I'm actually leaving December 30th will be my last day with the police department, and then I'll be venturing off into this full time. But it's going to be some long hours, especially during the first AEP. But the good thing about this is I won't be getting called out at 1 or 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, or and stuff like that. So I feel like it's going to be a lot better opportunity for me.
Wow! All right. Well, congratulations. You're shifting at the end of the year. Congratulations. I'll give you a little hand right there.
Thank you. Great. Thank you.
That's a big commitment. I mean, it's a big commitment in the first place to join the police department anyway, but congratulations. Good for you. So you've seen enough success and enough stability to make that shift. That's awesome. And so let's say maybe this time next year, right? Next AEP of 2023, 2024 season. So you'll be able to make your own hours, right?
Right.
You'll be able to invest as much and earn as much as you'd like, right?
Right.
You'd be able to essentially run the show. And that's what you're looking for, is it not?
That is.
That's amazing. Yeah. And as far as, because I don't want to put words in your mouth. I mean, how does this feel for you? Like, because your reason why behind it's going to be the motivating factor for all this. How does this make you feel?
I'm just excited to have an opportunity where the harder I work and the more I put into it, the more I get out of it, versus having some other where I'm at now. It don't matter how hard you work, it's the same, and stuff like that. So I'm excited to have this opportunity where I can, do something for myself, and the more I put into it, the more I get out of it.
Yes, sir. Amen to that. I think we can all take a moment and appreciate that we get out of this exactly what we put into it. And right. So I can tell, Derek, that you're getting out of this great rewards because you're putting into it and you're sacrificing what is appropriate to sacrifice. So thank you for that. I do want to shift a little bit to some questions here. I saw a really good one earlier. Do you go to your appointments in uniform?
I do not.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And I see somebody was asking where you're from. You're still in Gulfport, right? You still
in Gulfport. Born and raised on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi.
Gotcha. Looking for contact. Oh yeah, I just saw you just put your contact info. Awesome. Thank you.
I can.
What's that? Oh, your cell phone. Awesome. Yeah. So guys, yeah, if you have questions for Derek, you'd like to reach out to him after the fact, his contact info is actually in the chat. Thank you for doing that, Derek. And I know, just as a disclaimer, just to say it, we are all busy. We all have things going on. So please be respectful. If you are going to reach out to Derek, be respectful of his time, and he'll be respectful of yours, of course.
Yes, sir.
Now, as far as any questions, now would be a good time, you guys. If you wanted to unmute yourselves, you could share some advice or ask some questions. And Derek as well, I'll give you the floor. If you'd like to share something for the newbies out there, maybe this is their first time AEP and they're perhaps not seeing the success you're seeing. Maybe this would be a good opportunity to share something with them.
Good morning.
Yeah, Go ahead.
Hi,
Sorry.
this is Carrie.
Derek, Derek. Carrie, before you ask a question, Derek, go ahead and finish your statement, please, sir.
I was just going to say, you got to get out there and work hard. Obviously the harder you work, the more you're going to get out of it with. And like me and Tony talked about, all it is a number game. The more people you get in front of, the harder you work, the more honest and transparent you are, and building a relationship with everyone, the more success you're going to have. And that's in anything, whether you're no matter what you're in, the harder you work, the better you're going to be.
That's right. 100% right. And that's for really anybody on the call. Sometimes we need a swift kick in the you-know-what to get back on track. So we're going to get out of this. Our commission check is being built today, right? The check we collect and the clients we serve, that's being built right now. So you're right. Thank you for that. And I think, was that Carrie? You had a question?
Yeah. Hey, Derek, congratulations on your success this year. We had the pleasure of hanging out with your mom and dad on the last trip, and they were telling us that you were going to be coming on board. And I thought that was so awesome. My question, sir, is how many plans, companies are you working with this on your first AEP, sir?
I have 3 that I write Medicare Advantage through: Humana, Cigna, and Aetna.
Okay, awesome. Well, I wish you the best. You're young, you're getting this. If I knew about this when I was your age, boy. So you seem like a very, very great young man, and I believe the Lord's really going to bless you. You're going to do awesome. So welcome aboard.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Carrie. That's awesome. Anybody else? Questions, concerns, any other comments?
Yeah, real quick. Derek, how you doing? I appreciate you coming on the call. I had a question, and it kind of goes along with maybe a suggestion given your background. Do you guys in your police department or county, do you guys have like a drug outreach program or a homeless outreach program or something like that you guys run through the police department right now?
Not necessarily a drug outreach program. However, there is what they started like a homeless coalition program, and they're partnered with a third party outside the police department, but it's just to get them in touch with them, with that third party, and see if there's something that they can do to help with.
Gotcha. Okay. The reason I bring it up, so one of my best resources for the SEP period, which is after AEP, the rest of the off season, is our sheriff's department here for the county. They have basically like a drug and homeless outreach program, and almost every day of the week they're on the street and they're talking to people who are homeless or people who have kind of drug issues, and helping them get treatment and helping them get different resources. And one of the things I've done over the last couple of years is partnered with that program. And actually, you wouldn't think, because most of these people aren't 65. Most of these people are, a lot younger than that. But a lot of those people do have Social Security disability, and they are getting Medicare. And most of these people are dual eligible in that side of things. So just kind of why I was bringing that up is just with your background, you may have some contacts in your community that kind of, deal with that kind of crowd, and they may be doing events or outreach to these people, and you may be able to partner with them on the Medicare and Medicaid side, and not only help these people out that need a lot of help in those situations, but also it's a good way to market for yourself as well.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I'll definitely look into that.
And that's interesting advice for really everybody on the call. We can all make those contacts as well.
Michael, I just want to jump in. It's Tony Holland. Derek, I'm proud of you, man. Really am. And I remember when you first called me and your dad asked me to give you some advice, and look what it's turned into. I mean, you're at the start of an incredible new career. It just goes to show that the system works. The leads work. The carriers work. And I've talked to agents all across the country, from, you guys remember Josh Young and Josh, you guys know Josh Shen, who did a talk yesterday, and last Monday, Randy Standard, many others, and guys with other FMOs that I'm friends with. They're just doing what Derek's doing. There's no secret for him. Everybody's looking for the secret trick, the secret lead, the secret thing. What is this? You know what he's doing? He's doing it exactly the way you're supposed to do. The way Josh does it, the way Randy does it, the way Josh Youngs does it. Any of the top performers out there, he has an amazing attitude. He's very appreciative of the opportunity, because look where he's come from. He's coming from a profession where he's not appreciated. It's to me saddening what our police officers have gone through And I don't want to, it's not the moment to get anything political, but it's amazing. This guy puts his life on the line, him and his brother, every day for people's freedom, to protect people. Now he gets to where he can be appreciated and valued because he still wants to help you. He has that generous heart. He just wants to help you. That's why people go to be a police officer. They want to make a difference in the world. Now he's able to make a difference in the world and have his family benefit from it. So he has the right attitude. Number two, he has the work ethic. I talk to agents every week. The biggest problem I see with agents that are not writing, it's not the system. It has nothing to do with the leads. It's work ethic. Work ethic. Now, maybe some people weren't raised like Derek was, or I was, or Josh Shins, or Randy. There's certain elements in our society, I guess, that don't understand what work ethic is. If you're not successful, it comes down to three things: the attitude, your work ethic, number two, then finally the sales skills. And Derek is only 3 weeks into this. There's many people that's called it, but way more than him, and he's more successful than them because really the first two qualities. You learn this business by doing this business. You learn this business going out with the right attitude, with a grateful heart, a joyful heart, and understand the good Lord put you in this position for a reason to change and save somebody's life with that attitude first. Not that I got to make a ton of money. Not I got to make a Rolex. It's all about I got to change this. I got to change 10 to 15 people's lives every day. You go with that and you work like stink. I'm going to tell you, Derek and I would even mention Josh Shin. I know he spoke. They work more in one day than most people work in a week. Some of them in 2 and 3 weeks. People are not successful. It's because they don't have the right attitude and are not working. You don't have to be a rocket science to do this. You don't have to have years of experience. Derek's only had 3 weeks. And look what he's doing. He's just following the system, working the system, working the leads. The leads will work if you work the leads. Trust me on it. He's doing it, and many thousands of agents across the country are doing it as well. I heard a number that's already out from Integrity Family. I think they cracked like over 1 million sales already in Medicare. 1 million sales. That's pretty incredible. Somebody's selling it. It might as well be you, okay? That means whether it's a call center, virtual call center, field, 1 million sales already. That's pretty phenomenal number for AEP. That's incredible. There ain't no other organization in America doing those kind of things. We're part of that special family. Just take advantage of the opportunity. So I just want to say, Derek, thank you, man. That's what I'm looking for. Now, my recruiting, and Michael and I know we're just going to find new people like Derek and Josh and Randy Standard. And it doesn't matter if you're 74 years old or 24 years old. If you want to go to work and you really want to help people, and you got strong work ethic, we'll teach you the rest. You can live the dream. This man made $12,000. I know what police officers make in Gulfport area, but to make $12,000 in 3 weeks, that's pretty impressive. So congratulations to you, Derek, and you come from a wonderful family. I know where you get your work ethic from. It's from your family. You guys know the meaning of rolling your sleeves up, getting down, getting dirty, and go to work. This business is about work ethic. And I wish more people in this business understand there ain't no magic trick. There ain't no magic lead. It's purely work ethic. It's a great job, Derek.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Hi, Tony. This is Willie Mae Alexander. Congratulations, Derek. You're doing an awesome job. Tony, I just thought maybe you might want to add a fourth line to success. And that is, and I see that in Derek, he's surrounding himself with like-minded people that believe in him. And I think that's very important.
Amen. I was working with an agent last week about that, and I found out some of the people, they were talking to them like, why are you talking to people that ain't making it themselves? You want to talk to people who are doing better than you, not worse than you. So you're so right, Willie Mae, and that's something I've been priding myself on, surrounding myself with more successful IMOs and other business leaders in my community. Like attracts like. So you're absolutely right. That's number 4. Thank you, Willie Mae.
Wonderful. Excellent. Any other closing statements from Derek, Josh, Tony, anybody before we wrap?
I just one more. I just appreciate everything that you've done for me, Tony, so far, and as well as Eric and Michael and Nick. Been a big help so far. So I appreciate all that.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. again, I opened this presentation by saying, without you guys doing what you do, we could not do what we do. So that is reciprocal. Thank you very much.
Hey, Derek, we love you, man. You're special. I haven't met you yet personally, man, but man, the many times you talk on the phone, you're just a gem, man. And then if you know any other police officers out there, man, send them our way.
I will.
I need some good people, man, to know what the meaning of work ethic is and appreciation. So send them our way. We'd love to work with as many good men and women out there that really want to truly change lives and make a difference in the world and make extraordinary money helping people in need. You've been incredible, Derek. Keep it up.
Sir. Thank you.
Tony, you want to close us out?
Well, Michael, great job for covering for me, guys. I was on a flight and caught it late, but just really impressed with Derek and the rest of the team members that are really kicking butt. And, you know, I'm just thankful the good Lord has brought us all together. And, you know, I pray for all you guys daily. And, you know, I know great things are happening. The best is yet to come. We can get people like Derek and other people out there that are slaving and dead-end jobs to take a hold of what global integrity have to offer. I mean, that's what Kathy and I got in this business to begin with, is really to pay it forward to others, to help them live their dream. You know, and that to me is the critical element in this business. If you're a GA or MGA, it's just not about your overrides. It's about what you do for people. And Derek having such a great mentor in his dad and Eric Allen, you know, and his mom, Miss Sherry, you know, they're just pouring the right kind of love into him. And that's what it's about when you're in leadership in this business. Not about the override. It's about the lives you change so they can live their dream. You know, it was the famous Zig Ziglar. I mean, you guys heard it, Zig Ziglar. It's like you can have everything in life you want if you can help enough other people get what they want. So I'm thankful to you, Derek, and the rest of you guys in this call that know what I'm talking about, having those key elements to be successful. Keep it up. Guys, we're on pace for a record year. I know integrity is blown away, over a million enrollments so far. There's people out there that are enrolling every day. And many of them are tired of these commercials, tired of the JJ Walkers and all that other stuff out there. They want a good agent that's loving on them like Derek's doing and Josh is doing and Randy, and just going to see them. I mean, you know, I think Randy's like almost up to 100 apps already, 73-year-old man with heart problems. And he's just, Tony, I'm just seeing those leads you give me. That's all I'm doing. I mean, there's no secret. I'm just showing up at the house. So God bless you guys. Have an awesome, awesome day, an awesome week. Guys, we're at almost the midway point of AEP. Let's crush it. Let's finish strong. May God continue to bless you guys. Keep changing and saving lives. Have a great day. Thank you.